What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your Sunday Daily Fantasy. Hey guys, it's a Sunday and welcome to another quickie. Another day, another fantasy quickie for you guys. Another quick update of what happened today at the recap for today's games. Kamish,
Yes. Hi, guys.
how's the Sunday games today?
Lots of blowouts.
Lots
of blowouts today.
Lots of good performances as well from.
Yeah. But the games weren't that nice because a lot of the games were not really competitive.
But let's talk about some injuries first. Some injury updates. Nikola Jokic could be still out the next game, right? Tomorrow.
He's questionable for tomorrow, and Mike Malone did say that he could miss the game. I think he will miss the game. Remember, Denver has 2 games only. They have 2 games only next week.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a possibility that he could miss both those games as well, right? I mean, if let's see what happens tomorrow.
Yes, let's see what happens tomorrow because Jokic just always wanted to play when he can play. Yeah, and he doesn't want to rest. So if he doesn't play tomorrow, then we know maybe the wrist injury is it's not a tear or anything, it's sprain. So maybe if he doesn't play tomorrow, then it might be really painful or something.
It might really be bothering him. There's really not much to do there. Whoever is playing, I mean, Aaron Gordon has been playing pretty well without
Aaron
Jokic.
Gordon, yes.
But there's really no immediate add there or some player that you'll probably be excited about. There's really none. So Nikola Jokic will just wait for more updates tomorrow, see if he plays. OG Anunoby, better update. He was questionable.
People will ask why is it a better update? Because being questionable, there's already a 50% chance he will play.
Yeah.
Probable, I would say 80%. Questionable, 50%. Let's say doubtful, that's 10 to 15% only of you playing. So, and then out, of course. He was supposed to be out for weeks.
Yeah.
And usually, if that's the case, the teams would tag their players as out.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, doubtful. But for him to be given the questionable tag, either their media person in the team made a mistake or whatever it is, it's good. Probably good news that maybe the injury isn't as bad as they thought it was.
Yeah. If it's really bad, they'll probably rule him out already. A day or two before the games.
And another player also is like that is Isaiah Stewart. He's I think probable. Is it probable? I think it's probable.
I saw an update that there's a possibility that he could play the next game, so that's already some good news. So hopefully, I mean, Isaiah Stewart is a younger player. Maybe he, some of these younger players would really want to play, and some small injuries or even if it hurts, they'll try to really play through it. And given that he's been struggling, I'm pretty sure he wants to play through it, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with Isaiah Stewart on that. Duncan Robinson injured his knee.
Contusion. They said it's a contusion, so it's a bruise.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard to speculate now because of what I mean, we have seen so many injuries that didn't look bad but turned out to be bad. That looked bad, but didn't cost the players a lot of time. But Duncan Robinson, I think, might have a chance to miss some games with the knee.
Plus he's in Miami, and Miami has been quite cautious with their players in terms of injuries. Like we've already seen Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry rest games. For some injuries that they have. So I wouldn't be surprised if Duncan Robinson would sit a game or two here. Just
And
to get him
it's
some rest.
almost the same injury as Bam. If I don't know, I don't know exactly the nature of the injury, but Bam is a bone bruise. Duncan is a knee contusion also on the knee. So since Bam has missed a couple of games already, I would think Duncan will miss some games too.
And if he misses some games, who's the major beneficiary here? Max Struss? Gabe Vincent? Is Gabe Vincent
well,
there's really not much, right? Tyler
Gabe
Hero.
Vincent, usually Gabe Vincent, because Gabe Vincent is a backup point guard, so usually he can play the point. Max Struss is the guy that I think should be the logical replacement because he's the same shooter. Very, very good shooter, also same with Duncan Robinson, but he has not played very well. Not played well at all. Not very well. Not played well at all.
Max Struss is the player who played really well during the preseason. Right? He was their star player during the preseason.
Yes. I'm betting on Struss. The other guy is Caleb Martin, who has been also actually playing better than Struss.
Yeah, because Caleb can do a lot more things, right? I mean,
yes.
Struss is more of a Duncan Robinson clone, more like a shooter.
Yes.
And Caleb Martin is more like his brother, Cody in Charlotte, right? So they can play, they can contribute more categories or more stats, right?
Yes.
So there are Duncan Robinson update injury. So not really exciting ads for Miami there. I don't think there's really not much to be excited about. Maybe it'll be Tyler Hero who gets more the usage of Duncan Robinson, or maybe Jimmy Butler, or I mean they'll probably share the usage.
Maybe Tyler goes to the starting five, and then
that's what I was thinking. Maybe he'll start there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about some trending down players, or some players who hasn't been playing well lately. We haven't talked about. Let's first talk about Wendell Carter Jr. because he's been talked about from time to time here in our quickie. Worried about Wendell Carter Jr.'s performance?
I own some Wendell Carter Jr. and I've never thought of him as a surefire rest of the season value. I mean, his value now, I always do not assume that it will continue for the rest of the season. At first, it was because of Isaac. It was because of Okiki and those players. Okiki came back and he has continued to start. But Wendell Carter Jr. doesn't have the track record of, a good track record. He's always been, in foul trouble, like what he had today. He was in foul trouble.
Yeah.
And there are times where he has, disappeared, like today again. Last two games, actually. So
the only
difference,
I guess the only difference of the Wendell Carter we see now and the Wendell Carter of old is that the old Wendell Carter hasn't really performed as well as this year's Wendell Carter.
Yes, that's true.
I think this is so far the best Wendell Carter we've seen so far. So let's just hope it's just some bump there.
I'm worried because Chuma is also playing better. I'm not saying they're gonna start Chuma over him. They're probably gonna continue with Bamba and Wendell as their starters. But if there are, 4 or 5 games already that Wendell has played less than 20 minutes. So it has happened. So if that happens, maybe the coach will go with a hot hand. Who's hot in that game? So that is gonna be annoying if you own Wendell Carter Jr. So he's trending down for me.
But obviously you'll probably hold on to your Wendell Carter Jr.
Yes.
Centers are hard to find in the waiver wire, so you'll probably hold on to that. But just monitor the situation and see how he performs in the next few games, or monitor the situation between him and Chuma Okiki, because even though he's starting, Chuma could get more usage or more minutes from on different
games.
Like today.
And yesterday, actually. Yeah.
And he did well today. I think he had 13 points today. Well, not the exciting stats that he will give you, but it's better than the past few games.
Another injury, by the way, since we're in Orlando already, is Cole Anthony.
Did he
he's out.
miss today? Yeah,
Yes,
he missed today's game
with a sprained ankle. I don't know when the injury happened. There was no report. So I don't think it's serious in that case because there was no practice. I mean, they have a back-to-back, so they didn't practice. And yesterday was able to finish the game. So I assume he tweaked it during the game, but was able to play through it, and they want to be cautious, or maybe it swelled or whatever today. So
this is going to be good for Suggs, though. I mean, Suggs has been playing better lately, shooting the ball better, and of course he's been contributing across the board, like he's done before. The only thing right now is for him to get those field goal percentages higher. And score maybe 14, 15 points a game. That's a decent stat line already for Suggs.
That's what he did today. He had 14 or 15 points, I think, but he didn't shoot the ball well. The difference now, if Cole will be out, is that even if he doesn't shoot the ball well, he's by default going to get to 14, 15 points because he's going to take much, much more shots. Yeah. Like today, he took 15 and he made 4. So if he's going to take 15 or 16 or 18, even if he just makes 3, 4, or 5, that's double figures already with the free throws and everything. So yes, that's good for Jalen Suggs. And he's trending up while Franz Wagner, actually, another of my worry players, although we didn't put it in our article, is trending down in the opposite direction. The two rookies are going their opposite directions right now.
We'll see. For rookies, they'll have their bumps along the way, right? They'll have their ups and down games, up and down games. And
like Duarte.
Duarte is way down. I mean,
12 will you drop
teams.
Him?
12 teams. I think I will drop him. I'm just waiting for looking at the right player to pick up for him. Or
someone asked me about dropping Duarte and picking up Pat Bev. I said yes. How about you?
Yes. I'd rather pick Pat
At least we agree in that. Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather stream Eric Gordon over Duarte at this point. I mean, in a 12 team, in a 12 team.
Yes. I agree.
It's just that Gordon has been better. The only problem with Gordon is that he misses games from time to time without any early notice. He'll just probably miss a game or two without any
back-to-backs. He's not gonna play back-to-backs. He's never not played this year in back-to-backs.
Yeah,
so he's probably gonna miss that.
Yeah. Wait, where are we? Brandon Ingram, another. Yeah, we're done with Wendell. Brandon Ingram, another player who has been underwhelming. I've seen some Brandon Ingram trades already.
I thought you saw him in waiver wire, so I was like,
no. I forgot what was the trade last week that happened about Brandon Ingram. It's just that he's been underwhelming. It's like I'm not sure.
Well, he started the season. He had a buzz going to the season because of Zion's injury. So people were expecting Brandon Ingram to be the main man in New Orleans, which he is the main man. And he started the season very well before he got injured. Then he got injured. And then he's been back for 5 games already. And except for a 31-point game, his total averages are actually for the 5 games, 19 points only. And then 4 rebounds, I think 5 assists. Very, 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 very mediocre.
Modest.
And
very mediocre.
He has no steals. He's 0.2 steals this year. So if that's gonna be the case, he really has to score a lot and give you the rebounds and assists and threes, right?
Which he hasn't. I mean, the scoring alone is worrying because they don't have much scorers out there in New Orleans, and he's the only guy who can really score. For him to average 19 points a game in the past 5 games is worrying because that's his strength, right? Scoring at a high field goal percentage.
He's sort of a Devin Booker, right? I mean, at this point, he gives you 2 to 3 3-pointers.
Devin Booker with I'm not sure what are the field goal percentages of Ingram.
Ingram is 40, 45, I think, 45, 46. Devin Booker is around that range also. And the difference, maybe the assists and rebounds higher for Ingram, but Booker scores more now.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna criticize Devin Booker about his game, I think we have to be the same with Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, true.
And Zion is, of course, Zion will eventually come back also. So there's that also.
Well, again, we don't even know. Like we have always said, sometimes with Zion he might be better because right now everyone's focusing on Brandon Ingram. With Zion back, they might focus. Some teams would focus a little more on Zion and opening up some shots for Brandon Ingram. So,
but is he a buy low for you? Would you?
No, I am not a big fan of Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm just not a big fan. I never drafted Brandon Ingram. Because I feel like he's always been drafted a little too high for me. So yeah.
I've never owned Brandon Ingram. I just do not see as I said, he's like the new age Tobias, Chris Middleton. You know, those boring kind of players with boring stat sets. And
but
right?
if he can't, if his steals rate is very low. I mean, Chris Middleton and Tobias have better steal rate.
Yeah,
which makes them really good players, right? I mean, they are scorers. They can contribute across the board, rebounding, assist. But the one thing that really attracts many managers to them is their steal rate
and their consistency.
Yeah, and their consistency. So Brandon Ingram, buy low? No, not really buy low for me. Personally, no. You can buy low, but personally, if you
for me maybe you know why I can't say it's a buy low, because if you really go low, the opposing manager won't really agree either. If you say I will get Brandon Ingram, I'll give you my Nickel, I'll give you my Jordan Poole, I'll give you this, they won't agree with that. So there's no deal to be made there. Right?
Maybe the buy low, the players I can think of that would somehow, if you believe in Ingram's value, I don't even know if players like Tobias or maybe Miles Bridges.
No.
Right?
No? You'd rather have those players at this point. Yeah. You'd rather have those players. So
another player hard to trade. I don't know. I can't find a player you can trade for the guy.
I would say maybe closer is like the guys like Tyler Hero, maybe.
Yeah.
I know it's low, but I mean they're going through opposite directions, so possibly Tyler Hero. Maybe the Darius Garlands. I think that in that level.
I still like Garland though.
Yeah, but at those levels, it's a matter of a preference. Some people will say, "Hey, still Ingram, he's still a third round."
I think Tyler Hero is a good one. Tyler Hero is so good.
Yeah.
But still, I think Tyler Hero this year is legit. So he might end up better than Ingram if Ingram continues to struggle. So, so those are our two trending down players. We also mentioned about Bogdan and who's the other guy?
Duarte. Who else did we say?
Bogdan and
Levert.
Caris Levert. Yeah, but we talked about them yesterday. Levert's still struggling. Duarte's I think it's time to move on from Duarte at this point, unless you're in a very deep league, like an 18 team league maybe.
Aaron Fox also. I'll add him also. He's back to the shooting has been off again. Yeah. Although when I watch the games, he's aggressive. Unlike the start of the season, he's really trying to find the shots. Just not falling for him. It's not falling. So he's also a trending down player again. But when he was trending up, we already told you don't buy. So I hope you did not.
Yeah.
I hope you did not.
Talking about buy players, here are some names that shouldn't be in your waiver wire. Even in 14, 12, 12, I'm not sure. We'll ask Komish about this. Jared Vanderbilt. We've told you about him. Even if just for the defensive stats alone, he should be owned, right?
In 12-team leagues, I would pick him up in 12-team leagues. I don't know about you, but I would. If he's available, I'll take him.
most of the teams I have, Vanderbilt is in a 14 team. I haven't really considered picking him in a 12 team, although I don't really see much Vanderbilt in the waiver wire in a 12
Yeah.
team league. So I'd probably say that he's been owned already.
Yes, and the difference right now is since he starting at the power forward, since he started at the power forward position, the Wolves have been winning. They have been playing better. So I think the rotation looks like this is the rotation that they will go with Patrick Beverly and Vanderbilt at the starting position. He has outplayed McDaniels also. And like today, 3 steals, 2 blocks. That won't be there every day, but like Matisse, Matisse Tybul came back today. So like Matisse Tybul, by virtue of those defensive stats, I think he should be owned in 12 teams.
Patrick Beverly is another player who should be owned in
12 teams.
12 team leagues. He's starting, he's getting the minutes, and he's getting good stats. I mean, I think this is the best Patrick Beverly we've seen in terms of fantasy.
Yes, especially the past few games. And if you own Pat Bev, he's been dropped sometimes because sometimes you'll see stats like 6 points, 8 points, 5 points, and you'll say he's not doing well. But you look at the other stats, he's averaging almost triple ones.
Yep.
3 points, steals, and blocks. Except that the steals this year is 0.7, which is surprising because you would expect that would be the one that would be more than one a game. But as Jeremy said, steals are kind of fluky. It will go up. It will go up. So the blocks might go down. He's averaging 1 a game. But for sure, the defensive stats will be solid. The assist is solid also.
Here's the stats for Patrick Beverly. 1.3 threes, 8.5 points, 4.7 rebounds, close to 5 assists per game. Like you said, close to 1 steal, 0.8 steals a game, and 1 block per game on 1.4 turnovers. Those are really good numbers. If you like the 1-1-1 players like Jason Tate, the Dorian Finney-Smith, like these types of players, I think he is still the better of all those players, and should be and he's shooting 47%, which is really good as well. So I mean, and he'll have good games. He'll have some mediocre games, but he'll have some really good games. Like the other game, he had 14.6 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. So,
but one thing I know it's hard to own him because the points really at 8.7, you will say that's kind of low.
Yeah.
But I guess don't own him if you already have Matisse, if you already have Giant Vanderbilt. I mean, if you own all of those together, you will be punting points. But if you have just one of these players, I think it's gonna be fine. Your points will be fine.
Yeah.
You can
depends
get
on
it
the
from
build
other
as
players.
well. It depends on the build.
Yeah.
Maybe he is not the reason why you're losing points. Maybe your build is just not for winning points, right? So that can be, he's not the X factor there. But obviously, as a waiver wire ad, he's gonna be a big help to your team. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, we talked about him already.
He was dropped in a lot of my leagues. Yes, in 2 or 3 of my leagues. Yeah. Because what happened? The last game, I think he didn't score in double figures. Didn't have a good game. Today, he came off the bench. But today, he had 3 3-pointers, 13 points, 5 rebounds, I think, and a steal or something. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, I think, has already solidified his rotation spot, whether starting, whether coming off the bench. And I'm just waiting for Yahoo to give him that power forward or center eligibility. If they give him that, you'll not be able to pick him up.
And the minutes have been there. I think he's averaging around 26, 27 minutes per
26,
game,
27 minutes.
Solid already for a player you pick off the waiver. While Alperen Sengun, I don't know why we still have to tell people to buy on Alperen Sengun, but I don't own any.
He was dropped. He was dropped in my league.
Really?
3? Yeah. He was dropped in my league. His ownership also dropped a lot. Because the last game, remember the 5-minute game?
Yeah. I think he had a couple of low-minute games.
Yes. And not
So
only low-minute games that where he did not produce.
yeah. So
And he's outside 200 now in the rankings.
but okay. The thing with Houston, they've been using other players now. KJ Martin is being used.
Yes, that's true.
Players we
Daniel
mentioned
House,
before, Daniel House. They've been trying different
Noaba.
sets, right? But these players, um, I think of all KJ Martin, you have to speculatively pick him up already in some leagues.
Maybe
Yeah,
deeper.
yeah.
Maybe 18, 16,
18,
18. Yeah.
16, yes, I think you can if you have someone there that who's not really producing, but just you just can't drop them because he's not. There's really no one better. I think
Yeah.
the upside for KJ Martin is not too bad. Not too bad.
Yes. Here's the
Uh,
deal with Sengun. Whether the owner of Sengun is in two boats. One is the fantasy addict kind of like sleeper. I want all the sleepers. I want the hype. I'm an expert. I'm a researcher. I'm this kind of a player, an owner. So no matter how many zeros Sengun puts up, they're not gonna give up Sengun until you give up a second rounder for him.
yeah,
Then there's another Sengun who just picked him up because he heard about him and he's so good. He's this, is that, and then he sees like he's not performing. I've been duped. So he drops him, or just when you want him to get him, okay, I'll give him to you because this is a fluke, but this is a fake. So there are two kinds of Sengun owners. So you have to figure out or find out what kind of owner you're in, the Sengun owner in your league is.
yeah.
Because if you can get him for cheap, or for now, if you can get him for free, you
Why
should.
not?
I guess you
Right?
should do. Yeah,
Yeah. But
you should
again,
get him.
other managers who might be dropping him might be struggling in their standings. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that could be a factor because, of course, like we said, Sengun is probably your second half player, right? You picked him to hopefully get, be there in the second half when everything's really there's really not much to play for by different teams, right? Although Houston really doesn't have much to play for, but yeah, that's the ad there, the reason why you drafted Sengun, and many managers know that's the reason why they added Sengun, right? For the second
But
half surge. So if you're losing,
what's the use, right?
you might not get to that second half. By the time you do the second half surge, you're already way too deep, way too low in the standing. So I think that's another reason. Because if he doesn't perform, that's a big. I mean, you wasted a slot for him.
You've got a good point there, and I think you have to balance things out. I know all the experts in the world have said that Sengun will be is so good, and it's like the next whoever you want to put there. Yeah, we understand and we agree. But Jeremy put it right. What's the use if you're not gonna be able to? So you're out by the time he's doing those stuff. So but what one thing I would caution is dropping him, because I'm sure 12 managers in a league, 14 managers, even 10 managers in the league, there's one or two there who would really pay a lot for him. If
Not
you
just one
just
or two. I think there are more. Like half of your league might be willing to get him from you.
And here's the thing, you don't even have to work hard. You know what you have to say? Sengun up for sale.
Right? Try to yep,
And that's
and
it.
or maybe ask, look at which players you want from different teams and try
You
to
know what? No,
ask.
I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna put in a GC Sengun up for sale, and I'm gonna wait for PMs to come. I'm sure they will be coming left and right.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
He has a great trade value, even at this point. So yeah, Sengun, but definitely a buy player. For deeper leagues, or not really deeper leagues, Cam Reddish I think has been rostered in a 14-team league already.
Yeah, but not
14.
all. He dropped, but at 27% right now. So again, he's a hot and cold player. Right now he's hot. So time to pick him up.
Yep. And we talked about Eric Gordon before this quickie, even the past few minutes. One of my favorite streamer at Eric Gordon.
Yes.
No one really likes picking him up, but yeah,
Yes.
for me, as long as
Yes.
he's healthy, as long as he's playing, I'll pick him up, and it's not also hard to drop him.
And especially now with KPJ injured,
Yeah,
Eric Gordon is actually giving you not just points. He's passing 5 point something assists. He's
yeah,
stealing. He even has blocks.
yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I mean,
he's
on that Houston roster, he's probably the most tested guy there. Probably
yeah,
the most consistent there. He knows
yes,
what the NBA is all about, and he's proven that he can perform. Remember, Eric Gordon is a sixth man of the year before, right?
yes.
So we
It's
all
true.
know he can produce. The only problem with Gordon has always been his injury. And of course, the late season value is not there because, he's old and probably Houston really won't play him as much later on. But yeah, squeeze everything out of your Eric Gordon. It's even hard to drop him sometimes because if you don't have anyone to pick up who's probably better, you probably stick with him.
At this point, but one thing about owning Eric Gordon is he can hurt you at the worst possible time, in a worst possible way. Like Jeremy said, that sometimes no announcement,
Yeah,
he's out.
he'll just miss
What
games.
happened with me this year, week 3, I think, or week 4, I forgot. Sunday that was Monday, last day, streamed him. He was on the scores table, about to check in, went back, and then was ruled out. And did come back to the bench, and then he didn't play. He went to the scores table, and then he went back to the bench, and then he went to the locker room, and then they ruled him out because of dizziness or nausea. And I was thinking, what? I mean, you were sitting on the bench, you went to the scores table, you walked to the scores table, and then suddenly you were nauseous and, and dizzy. So those are like the stories of Eric Gordon sometimes.
Maybe a bad hangover. I mean,
But
he knows he's a veteran. He knows there's really not much to play for in Houston. He can cruise
yeah.
around, and really, there's no point in trying too hard, right? And he's a veteran out there. That's I don't know. Just me guessing, but yeah, Eric Gordon, one of my favorite streams. Every week, I'm pretty sure I have Eric Gordon or I've streamed Eric Gordon at least in one of the teams
Yes,
every
me
week.
too.
Kira Lewis, New Orleans, right?
Yes, someone to monitor. Devontae, another injury report. We're just putting some other injuries out there. We talk about KPJ, Cole Anthony. Devontae is also out for the 2 games, back-to-back, both games out. And he was ruled out early. It was not even questionable. So possible for him to miss more games. They're starting Thomas Satoransky. What the hell they're doing starting Satoransky, I don't know. But Kyra Lewis is the sophomore, last year's lottery pick of New Orleans.
Yeah.
He has played off the bench the 2 games that Graham is out, and he has outplayed Satoransky by a mile. So I don't know if how long they would keep him on the bench. But for me, not for long. I mean, again, this team is tanking. This team is not tanking. This team is losing.
Yeah.
So there's a chance for
and
Kyra.
he performed last year. So I'm pretty sure towards the end of the season he was one of the players who were added by managers to survive some playoff matchups.
Yes.
So we all know he can play. He can contribute to your fantasy teams. All right. Those are our buy players. Let's quickly on Feel Good. Let me pick a player. A couple of first rounders who's been playing well of late. Dame Lillard and Jason Tatum. One of our listeners, Joseph Crisostomo, asked me, rest of the season, who would I trust more? Is it Lillard or Bradley Beal? I'd still say Lillard. I mean, with all the you trust Beal more than Lillard?
Yes. This year, rest of the season?
Yeah.
Again, it boils down to whether you think Lillard will get injured. Yeah, I mean, today he was questionable to play. Until 4 a.m. in the morning, he was questionable to play. So, I mean, it's so hard to know what to do if all of a sudden at 6 or 7 a.m. they say it's good in our league, in our FPW leagues. It's daily, right? The day itself you can add players. But in majority of your leagues, I'm sure it's not like that. And if he's gonna be questionable,
is not like that. The standard is not like that.
If you're he's gonna be questionable every single game. Well, so far he has been since he missed that game. After that, every game he's been questionable, probable, or whatever. There's a tag. I mean, that's tough. I don't know how to how you deal with that, but it's tough.
Yeah. Well, the thing I like about it's just that I trust Lillard more.
It's okay. I mean,
I just trust him more, and that's why I said I like Lillard more, and that's my personal take, of course. Everyone
yeah,
has a
yeah.
different take. And they're winning as well. I mean, they're not as bad as we feel, right? Because there's this sense that Portland has been bad, but they're not bad.
Well, lately they've been better, but they were bad for a time. They were
Yeah,
bad for a time.
I mean,
Yeah.
because Lillard was so bad for when they started. I mean, that's maybe part of it. The rotation, they made some
Today's
adjustments. I mean, the good thing about Portland now is that they made some adjustments. So that's
and
good coaching somehow.
actually something also. It's not really about Lillard. Sometimes I feel like he's not forcing it as much this year. Also,
Yeah,
and maybe it's the system. Maybe it's new teammates like Larry Nance. Nasir Little has been playing better. Then, of course, he still has Nurkic. And Powell is his first full season with the Blazers. Last year, he came from a trade.
yeah.
So maybe he's trying to, find a balance also because he has said they have lost every year.
Yeah.
So maybe he's also trying to do that. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. The only concern for me is injury. If he's not injured, I'm gonna pick Lillard also over Beal. But it's just tough right now with that.
Yeah, but at least today he played well. I think he had 39.
39 and I think 7 assists and 3 blocks.
Yeah, the
Three
best game,
blocks.
the best game of his season so far. Jason Tatum also playing better of late. Now the biggest question now is that Jaylen Brown is very close to returning.
Yes.
I hope the momentum of Tatum carries on when Jaylen comes back because it's another roster change for Boston that can impact these players, and even Dennis Schroeder, who's been playing really well. Most likely Dennis Schroeder would be heavily affected by the
Yes, for sure. If you were able to trade him at the peak of his value, good for you. Great job. Jason Tatum, I feel there will be some effect, a little dip in his numbers with Jaylen Brown. He'll be affected for sure, but he's hot now. One thing about Tatum, when he gets his groove, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good. And I don't care if Jaylen Brown comes back or not. He's still going to be good. Maybe not 40 points a game, 37 points a game, good, or 6 3-pointers, good, but still first round.
Yeah, he's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's just that the usage with Jaylen Brown,
yes,
of course, it's gonna be different, and the adjustments that they'll have to make with Jaylen Brown back. Bobby Portis. Yeah, I just want to mention Bobby Portis because we talked about Bobby Portis when he was injured and how he should be rostered because no one's been picking him up early on when he was injured.
And he has
so
saved
far,
me.
it's surprising because he's starting. That's one thing surprising for me. He's starting. We felt before that, when he is playing off the bench, he's the garbage time guy that you want to own, right? Now he's starting, which means that, even not in garbage time, he's gonna give you some numbers.
That's true. Today, I don't know, 24-15, 24-13, I don't know. I mean, unbelievable stats for Bobby Portis. The thing is, people are sometimes, they're not that patient with players. Bobby Portis was picked up when he was injured, when he was about to come back. When he came back, he didn't play well. For 2 games or 3 games, he didn't play well.
And he was on it. He missed a few games as well.
Yes, because of the injury management. Yeah. And that is when you should understand, injured players, and when they come back, they're not gonna play every game right away, and they're not gonna be there. Like, let's say Kevin Durant comes back and then you say 30 points. Yeah, that's Kevin Durant. But the other players, the usual players, they would take time to get their rhythm and get their old stuff. So you have to give them time. You pick them up, stay with them for at least 1 or 2 weeks. Stay with them at least 1 or 2 weeks. So Bobby Portis, yeah, great. Good for you if you picked him up. He saved me in 1 or 2 of my leagues because I was able to pick him up just at the right time.
Yeah,
so that's good.
So yeah, Bobby Portis, probably the last. Just one quick play. Capela played really well today. Didn't miss a shot. We've talked about him. He was one of our worry players before, but we also said that he's a slow starter and he might be getting his groove now.
And he was injured. He was injured the start of the season.
Yeah.
The heel was there's an injury, so we knew why he was starting slow. And a lot of people were saying, and we said he was a buy low. And at that point, he was. But now,
Clint Capela is what I call the little Rudy Gobert in terms of stat set.
Yeah, mini Rudy Gobert.
Mini Rudy Gobert.
Or poor man's Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, poor man's.
If you didn't get Rudy Gobert,
if you didn't get Rudy Gobert in the second round, Clint Capela is your next guy up in the fourth round or the fifth round, early fifth round in the draft.
Yes.
So yeah, Clint Capela wraps up our feel-good player, and that also wraps up our daily fantasy quickie on this Sunday night. And yeah, tomorrow is Judgment Day. Good luck, guys. Last time, there've been some nice trades in our fantasy bench farmers league. Hopefully that helped your teams. But yeah, good luck for tomorrow, and we'll keep you updated again tomorrow, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.